Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome or welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is going to be a week, or most of a week anyway, you'll see, a week in my tarot journal with me. I'm taking you through how I pull cards, I hesitate to even call it a spread, but the arrangement of cards that I'm using for this week. I'm using the Goddess of Love Tarot and the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle, which are two decks that were in my recent Valentine's Vibes kind of video. So I thought I'd pull them out for this second week of February. Is that what we're in? Yeah. At the moment, what you can see me doing, I'm just watercoloring my pages. It looks very effective and nice when it's done, but it's quite a nice meditative process that takes me about 7 minutes. The annoying thing is the drying time, so I tend to do it of an evening and just let it dry overnight, and then the pages get all pretty and they get all crinkly, and it looks really nice when I have all my interpretations written up over the top. So I hope you'll join me for this video as I take you through how I pull cards, how I make some meaning out of them, get me back into the swing of actually pulling cards every day. This is a very low-key practice. I'm not making big, important predictions. I'm just playing with the cards and seeing what I can do with them on a daily basis. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Past Sylvie, who will be with you in a moment. Okay, hey, hi, hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, so I've decided that I'm gonna film the rest of this week doing my daily journal entries, my daily tarot pulls, and my process of pulling cards and how I glean some wisdom from them. So you will have seen me maybe set up this page, by which I mean do the watercolor background and hopefully like explain my daily pull process a little bit. I have not yet done the voiceover for that, so future Sylvie, do me a solid please. And I did Monday's pull, and then yesterday I didn't pull anything, and if you look, I did a pull on the 1st of January. I have not touched this since, and we're now, well, today's the 7th of February, so I've been very much out of my daily tarot journal habits. I miss it, I want to get back into it, and so I'm going to film myself doing my daily pulls, and hopefully that'll be interesting for you. It will be interesting for you to see how I do my daily tarot journal and the way that I read, because I know that's an interesting thing for a lot of people, myself included. And this video is going to be an installment in my, I think I've decided I'm calling it Magpie's Desk Dispatches, because that just sounds cute. So I put up a post on my community tab a little while ago saying I want to do some like vloggy style, what I get up to at my desk with my tarot and various other things. And that's what this is. So I'm going to get into today's little reading. So we're skipping Tuesday. I'll find some cute stickers or something. Off to a flying start. I have actually found my decks. So I like to do a tarot and oracle pair, and that's what I'm working with this week. We've got the Goddess of Love Tarot and the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle cards. In an ideal world, this would be like a little morning card pull, but it's, what time is it? 17 minutes to 9 in the evening. So that's actually pretty good going for me. I always alternate between overhand shuffles and riffling because that's what feels correct to me. So the spread I'm doing this week, I don't think even really can be called a spread. I'm just pulling 2 tarot cards as 2 factors, 2 things to consider, and then 1 oracle card for what's between them. So depending on what cards I pull, this will be something that's connecting them, something that I need to do to like get from one to the other, mitigate them, what have you. So my 2 factors, we've got the 2 of Wands and the Seven of Cups. Okay, those are interesting. So my first thoughts is these are quite opposite elements, and the Two of Wands is very directional, and the Seven of Cups is very non-directional. It's kind of indecision. It's that like fantasy, being unable to choose. So I feel like these are quite opposite energies in a way. And what's between them? We have compassion. May you tend to the suffering. Okay, so that makes very little sense to me instinctively. In which case, I'm going to go to the guidebook. The sea can be merciless and cruel. Calm, it can embrace your entirety. Both love and fear can bring appreciation of your own vulnerability and a desire to alleviate suffering. May you perceive the vulnerability of others. May your heart expand. May you tend to yourself with endless kindness. I meet suffering with courage and kindness. Okay. That still doesn't feel like it clicks for me. So, because this is a very vague card pull. And sometimes the cards make instant sense and sometimes not so much. So there's two things to ponder. The Two of Wands, the Seven of Cups. So like I say, like instinctively, I'm feeling that there's a lot of directionality and like eyes on the prize. The world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. And then in the Seven of Cups, it's like the world is your oyster, but what are you actually going to do with it? So that's what I'm feeling as like the two factors, which also kind of reflects how I've been feeling over the last few days. I've just been feeling some extra anxiety for no apparent reason. But you know how it goes. I've been feeling a lot of extra anxiety, and a lot of it doesn't seem to make sense, but a lot of it does feel to do with the fact that I feel like I've got some good stuff going on. I feel like I'm heading in some good directions, but I also feel a little bit overwhelmed with all the various ways of getting there and all the various things I have to do and all the various things that could go wrong and, so on and so forth. So I guess this is illustrating that kind of feeling in my brain. And then the guidance, the something to consider to mitigate it is that compassion, is that meet suffering with courage and kindness. I feel like maybe that is being kind to myself, doing that, anxiety thing of not beating ourselves up and not drowning in my own brain, but embracing my entirety. Okay, I like that. That's actually quite nice and positive. Okay, so just having a peek at the Goddess of Love guidebook, decisions to be made with intention, and it said somewhere about dynamic energy. And then the Seven of Cups, own the experience without getting lost in the fantasy. Like that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Okay, so there's a lot of dynamic energy, and I want to embrace my entirety without getting lost in the fantasy. Okay. Okay, so that's my little Wednesday pull. That worked out really nicely, and I will see you again tomorrow. Okay, hello everybody. It's time for another daily draw. I was going to say it's Wednesday, but that's a lie. It's actually technically it's 1:30 in the morning on Thursday, but it is before I go to bed. No, it's not. It's Thursday and it's actually 1:30 on Friday morning, but it's before I go to bed on Thursday, so it counts. I'm doing my little daily reading. My morning reading is very much not a morning reading, but it's happening and that's what matters. So two factors and what is between them. We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Tower. Fantastic. Okay. Hard work, perfecting a skill, and it all comes crashing down. This feels very much like the day I've had today. This doesn't. It's not been a tower day. It's been a, well, I wouldn't say it's been a tower day. Work-wise, it's been this. I've been having a good day. I've also had an emergency plumbing issue, which felt very disastrous, but did get sorted. So I'm like, was it a tower averted? I don't know. What's between them? Believe. May the sea deepen your faith. Okay. I think of the tower as a crisis of faith sometimes. It's the only like intuitive kind of thing I'm getting from there. So let's go to the guidebooks. Okay, so this is a moving forward ocean quality, which is an energy. Is an energy. Is an energy that works. Like that's what you want to be doing after you have your tower moment. It's like, okay, you move forward, you rebuild. Moving forward with the Eight of Pentacles, like you've been working hard, you perfected your skill, but like don't stagnate. So that's interesting. Okay, believe. May the sea deepen your faith. To enter the sea is to conceive of something greater than yourself while allowing space for your own greatness. It is soul knowledge that even as you need water, you are water. May your worthiness be unassailable. May you claim your place in the world. May you always be there for yourself. May you believe in you. To believe in the ocean is to believe in myself. Alright, so I feel like the Eight of Pentacles is that mastery and is that kind of like flow of having the skills, knowing exactly what you're doing and just making the work happen. And then the tower is like an interruption, which like is a good thing to take advice about. Is not super relevant to me right now, but that's okay. This is just for the vibes and to like get me used to pulling cards again because I haven't been recently. And then conceiving of something greater than yourself while allowing space for your own greatness. I feel like it's kind of a get knocked down, get up again kind of message, maybe. You work hard, shit'll hit the fan, you just gotta keep trucking anyway. Do you know what? I'm just gonna write some shit and see what comes out. This is absolutely not a particularly deep or meaningful or inspiring kind of journaling day, but that's all good. So I figured this tower, the tower, is essentially, it's a loss of control. Like I say, it's that kind of crisis of faith. It's that what you thought you built coming down, or something that you thought was stable coming down outside of your control. And the Eight of Pentacles being that mastery is control. It's control over your world, and then it's like the tower is the external world, something happening that you can't control. So that's the kind of balance or conversation I've gone with. So that sentiment that I went with here was believe in something greater than yourself, but believe in yourself too. the universe is bigger than you, but you are the center of your own world, which, like, not in a selfish way, just in a, like, you are in charge. Not to be all cheesy and like you are in charge of your own destiny, but kind of like you are in charge of your own destiny. So, like, you can control this. The world is bigger than you, but, like, you do have a lot of control. Which is quite a nice sentiment to put into my diary, because today was pretty hectic. Like, it was not a bad day, and the thing that was nearly a plumbing disaster was not actually a plumbing disaster, but it was still very stressful and, not gonna lie, expensive, which aren't plumbers always. Anyway, that's my little Thursday, technically Friday, but it's Thursday journal entry, and I will see you tomorrow. Hey, it's, what are we on? Friday. Like, not 1 a.m. Friday, like, actually it's Friday. Oh shit, I also am behind on my, okay, I'm gonna catch up on this, which is my daily draw. I'm using the Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea for Aquarius season. I did this cute little watercolor that I feel like kind of matches the vibes, you know? I don't know, there's something about the Navigators of the Mystic Sea, Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea, that feels a bit Aquarian, because it's kind of weird and wonderful, but I am going to do that. I'm going to catch up because I missed yesterday. But I'm going to do my reading. You know the drill. Okay, what have we got? Ace of Swords. Cool. 4 of Cups. Okay. And between them, expansive. May you connect to the whole. Ooh, that's interesting. Right, these two is 2 factors. We've got the Ace of Swords, we've got air, we've got a spark of inspiration, we've got an idea, but we've got something that has not yet turned into anything. 4 of Swords is like, I don't know if these are like considered opposite suits by anyone other than me, but I feel like the airiness and the logic of air, of the swords, is opposite to the watery emotional side of the cups. Like, I feel like they're opposites. I don't know if that's generally agreed upon, but it feels right to me. So, like, they're kind of opposite here. And then we've got the 4 of Cups is like a little bit of stagnation almost. It can be, I feel. Oh, it's cool how these figures mirror each other too. Anyway, like, it's there's ideas, a spark of inspiration, airiness that needs channeling, and then the 4 of Cups is almost like, if the 4s are about stability, I feel like the 4 of Cups is it illustrates the downside of that stability sometimes. Like, you're sitting where you are and you're reluctant to move. Like, I feel like there's a bit of a opposition there in that sense. Like, this is something that needs to be, like, grabbed onto and channeled. And then the 4 of Cups is a little bit of a reluctance to move on from where you're at. And ideas versus emotions, or communication versus intuition. This also feels more external, and this feels more internal. It's just the vibes I'm getting. And then what did we have? Expansive. May you connect to the whole, like a broad perspective, like a big picture. And both of these, I feel, are not very big picture. So maybe there's a bit of an opposition here between these two, in my opinion, on this day with this deck. There's like a bit of a, not an opposition, but just they're very different energies. And then the what's between them, the what can connect them, is to remember that there is a bigger picture. It's not just about new ideas and taking initiative and starting something. Like, starting new things is important. Being comfortable where you are is important, but also you need to know when to say no to this idea in favor of something else that you've got going on. You've got to know when to break that discomfort. And I feel like maybe this, like, big picture thinking is part of that. What is going on in this image? I can't tell if it really zoomed out. We must be. It looks like the sand underwater, but then It must be. I'm not sure. Anyhow, or is it a reflection on the surface? I'm not sure what's going on in that image. Well, it must be zoomed out because it's expansive. It wouldn't make sense if it was real zoomed in. Although like the micro and the macro and the ace in the bigger picture. Not the micro and the macro. The macro and the micro. That's what I'm getting at. That's not what this is. I'm pretty sure this is a very zoomed out picture of like sand under the ocean surface. But come on this train of thought with me. Wander down this road with me. Like if we were in fact very zoomed in and it was something that's looking like something that's very zoomed out, that is the like the macrocosm reflected in the microcosm, and then the ace of swords is the micro because it's this one spark of an idea. It's this like singular thing that isn't even a thing yet because you've got to grab it and you've got to channel it and you've got to turn it into something and give it some direction, and like the whole is reflected in that because you are an agent of change in your own life and all that shit. So like you need to direct the whole thing in the same way that you would conceive of directing the small thing. Have I gone too far? Quite possibly. This Four of Cups I feel like is I'm not at home in the cup suit. It's not my favourite place. So like what do we have to say about the Four of Cups? Reassess the gifts you've been given before you reject them as not enough. Difference between being realistic and being dissatisfied. What you want versus what you need. That was a very like dissatisfied take on the Four of Cups, and I think often it is. Like that's usually how it looks, is somebody who's just kind of like a bit bored, not really into whatever's happening and like stagnating a bit. Maybe the whole is stagnating and you need the fresh spark of things to redirect that. I fear this is too expansive and I don't quite know what I'm going to write, but that's okay. I really do like how these figures are like mirroring each other almost. So in the end, what I went with this is like that idea of like big picture thinking. Like, so say this is feeling like a problem. You're in that Four of Cups stagnation kind of place. The way to solve one problem might actually be to try and solve a completely different problem, because if you take this fresh inspiration, this new idea, this little spark of something exciting, you know, this is in a different suit, this is in a whole different area, but everything is connected. Everything is intertwined. Like, think of the big picture. You free up some space, you get things moving in one area, it can kind of have a bit of a knock-on or a ripple effect. Let's go with our water metaphors. There's like a ripple effect in it. It frees up some space and gets some movement in this other area where things have been feeling a bit stuck. So that's what I wrote down. Hello, it is Saturday. I spent some time today like decorating some of the pages, which, like, how cute is this? Anyway. Okay, so we have the Crone of Cups, I think is the equivalent of the King of Cups, and the Sovereign, who is the Emperor. I haven't drawn the Emperor in so long. It's one that comes up fairly frequently for me, but I've just realised I feel like I haven't drawn the Emperor in forever. So we've got the Crone of Cups and the Sovereign, so they're both. I'm just going to check that the crone is what I think it is. Yes, King of Cups renamed Crone of Cups. But it's Fire of Water. So this deck, I'm used to the king figure being air, in more like a Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. But this is a fiery King of Cups rather than airy King of Cups, or Crone of Cups indeed. So, but either way, they're both, like, there's an echo. I always think there's an echo of all of the kings in the Emperor. or there's an echo of the Emperor in all of the kings. So there's actually quite a lot of similarity in these two. I feel like pretty much all this week these have been quite opposite, whereas here I feel they're quite similar, but this is obviously much more watery, being cups, and this, the imagery is fiery. The Emperor is Aries, so the Emperor is fiery. So there's a little bit of duality. Okay, and then expansive again. May you connect to the whole. Do you know, I was looking through some photos and I realised that in an Instagram post where I've shown this deck before, the Sea Soul Oracle, it was expansive that I'd pulled that day that was in that post. So clearly expansive is a message for me. So two factors, you've got the Crone of Cups, you've got somebody who's very, I think, okay, so let's work backwards. So the Emperor or the Sovereign in this deck, I think of somebody who has a lot of authority, has a lot of power, has a lot of control, but has to be a step removed, which I generally think of all the kings, except the King of Cups. And considering that in this deck, it is fire of water rather than air of water, I think like that fire is the reflection with the mirror. That fire is the reflection, but also this is a much more charismatic, sociable figure than the Sovereign, who has to be that little bit more removed. This is a much more macro level, whereas this is a much more personal level. And then in between them we have expansive, connect to the whole. Is this the card I was talking about the other day that's like the micro, the macro and the micro? That was a very rambly clip. I don't know if that will have made it into the footage, but I think it was this one, in the guidebook. We are a raindrop, river, an infinite sea. Particles of water flowing into everything, connecting everything, accepting everything. Your capacity to extend and grow is both inclusive and unlimited. And I think it was maybe not this card, it was maybe a different one that had me thinking about this idea of looking for the macrocosm and the microcosm. And I feel like, I don't know, that also feels familiar here with the idea of the Crone of Cups being a facet of the Sovereign, but at the same time there's still that duality there. Okay, interesting. So I pulled the Four of Cups, which, if I'm not mistaken, I pulled yesterday. I pulled the Four of Cups yesterday. Do you know what was really weird? So I did this reading, Ace of Swords, Four of Cups, yesterday, and then this morning I did this spread, which I have yet to write up, and I pulled, this was with the Ritual Tarot, I pulled the Four of Cups and the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups, which I just pulled now. So I guess tarot is doing the spooky thing, and that's really cool. So I will see what those cards have in store for me. Yeah, so here, what I went with, because I find that I have my little ramble, I talk at you, and then I write stuff down, and as I'm writing stuff down, like more pops into my brain. Yeah, I went with this idea of the macro and the micro, and this being an element of this, like the Crone of Cups is within the Sovereign, but also that the Crone of Cups is more about connection, and the Sovereign is a little bit more about like containment, or at least that is a lot of my association with the Emperor. The Emperor for me is power and having control, not necessarily in a negative way, although that obviously exists in the Emperor, but more about like maintaining boundaries and knowing what is within and without your responsibility. So there is like a strong element of like containment in the Emperor for me. So yeah, I thought that was cool. This is like, especially with the mirror, with that reflection, with that kind of seeking connection. as a small part within the sovereign who is seeking to like contain. So yeah, that was my daily draw, and I will see you again tomorrow for Sunday to finish this week out. Alright, now I'm actually recording. Hi, it's Sunday. I am doing Sunday in my journal and finishing out this week. I'm also not very prepared and my desk is not very clear. Oh, coffee. Okay. Would you believe me if I told you it's actually the morning right now? Like, wild. Okay, so I don't know what is wrong with me today. Shuffling was an impossible task, and this fell out. And I usually put jumpers back in, but because it fell down face up, I've decided to like keep that out as an afterthought. So my 2 tarot cards. Oh god. Okay, 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Do you know what I like? I like visually this is expansive. Like these roses are heading outwards, as you'd expect with the 8 of Wands. It's that like burst of action and energy. And then this 5 of Pentacles, I think it seems like it's a more like inward energy, like with the pentacles on the points of the pentagram. And like, I don't know, it feels much more like inward in the way it's like closed in, not closed in, but bordered in inside this box, and then the roses around the outside. And then we've got 2 swords as well. But okay, 5 of Pentacles is not good vibes, but maybe the 8 of Wands is a way out of it. With Wild, may you express all that you are. And then I had Balance also fling itself out of the deck. May you find equilibrium in motion. Motion with the 8 of Wands. Okay. Okay. So what am I feeling from these? Like on the one hand, I have the 5 of Pentacles. It's a bit of a struggle. It's maybe a bit of feeling sorry for yourself and refusing to look up and see the answer. And maybe the 8 of Wands is the answer. And motion is the answer. So that you literally like the 5 of Pentacles doesn't always have to be completely doom and gloom, you know? It's like how like the tower isn't always the collapse of everything, you know? Sometimes it's just like a shitty day. So I'm like, with the 5 of Pentacles, maybe it's more about that, like not looking up and seeing, like in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, not looking up and seeing the church window. But in this case, it's like the answer is motion, like rebalancing. That 5 of Pentacles feeling is in like grabbing onto whatever the 8 of Wands is and moving through it and just kind of getting over it. And may you express all that you are. Like have an outlet for this 5 of Pentacles moment, for this 5 of Pentacles feeling. Like it's not always going to be calm seas. Like this is, I am kind of feeling like these are paired up, right? So like the 5 of Pentacles is a bit of a stormy, rough moment, but like you express it, you jump on whatever presents itself as like an inspiration or an idea, and you like move through it to find some balance. That makes sense. Okay. Maybe I should always be doing my tarot pulls in the morning and I actually would understand, or better be able to connect the dots and make something out of my tarot reading. I ended that with like, essentially the message I'm getting from these 4 is like move through it to get through it, but you have got to go through it to go through it, you know? Like you can't keep it bottled up, can't pretend it doesn't exist. So yeah, that is my week of tarot, of daily tarot pulls. I have forgotten to do this, but I'll do that in a minute. That's not what this video was about anyway. But yeah, that's my week of daily tarot pulls, daily tarot journaling. As you can see, it is a very quick process. I don't spend a long time in my tarot journal. I mean, I haven't touched it since the 1st of January, other than this week. So like, it has to be quick or it's never getting done, because sometimes it doesn't get done anyway. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing with these two decks. I think they go really nicely together. They're very wonky, aren't they? But yeah, so that's my week of tarot journaling. I hope you found that interesting. Maybe I'm nosy and I like to see how other people kind of read or put cards together, or like what jumps out at them. Like, because it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's always so many different meanings in every tarot card, that it's interesting to see like what jumps out on any given day or in any given combination, or just from person to person, like what we each like sees on. So I hope this has been interesting. I hope you've enjoyed having a peek at my tarot journal, and that is it from me. Thank you so much for joining me and spending some time with me. If you've made it this far, I really hope you've enjoyed. Give me a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.